So a group of inmates is any other kind in Connecticut have begun a letter of porn inside state prisons. Look at that. Terrible stuff. The state says that every time I see that, it makes me sick.
I'm so outraged.
I can't believe you let the camera crew into your closet.
You know what? It's not porn if it's a collection.
By the way, thank you. Those were vintage. Those were vintage.
Those are vintage. All right. The state says the ban is intended to improve the work environment for female staffers who might inadvertently be exposed to the smut. The perps claim the ban violates their First Amendment rights, but they're willing to settle for cable programming that displays nudity and sexual activity.
Nice.
Brooke, as I go to you, as always, First Amendment rights, don't you forfeit some of those when you go to prison?
Of course you do. I don't think there's a constitutional right to display porn. And the story also included there was a bunch of convicted prisoners who were convicted of child molestation. So you have to question, what exactly are they expressing that has to be protected by the First Amendment here? But the bottom line is going to be a balancing act by the judge, and I think the judge is going to weigh in favor of the prison.
Well, thanks for making this fun segment slightly darker than it had to be. Let me try and bring it back up by going to Joe. Joe, make a funny joke about how they say porn is counterproductive to rehabilitating inmates.
Greg, I'll tell you this.
He's not your monkey.
This isn't about saying no to porn. This is about saying yes to rape. That's what's happening.
It's not funny.
No, in prison, that's what's going to happen.
All right,
That's a good point.
You're taking. I'm not jumping on you. If I sound like I was pouncing, I didn't mean to.
No.
I'm just so passionate about this.
I accept your apology. Sometimes we go overboard, and I don't.
They're taking porn. Something like this keeps down rape in prison. It really does.
How do you know? There is some research that suggests that.
I would say.
But I don't know it.
I would say for certain that it would certainly help cut down on sexual assaults in prison. So, and I mean, for God's sakes, you're living in a cage, you're behind bars, you're eating slop 3 times a day, you're in physical danger constantly.
Can a guy murder a guy?
But I'm saying it's all gone.
Can
a guy have, can a guy have a copy of Hustler? I mean, is that the end of the world?
I disagree. I think, Gavin, I don't know. Like, why should they? Why is that a right? I don't get it. If they committed a horrible crime, they shouldn't get, Swank Wee or Cherry or Club or Penthouse or Playboy or My Big Backyard.
It also makes you more, I don't know if you've ever abstained for a long period of time, but it makes you more of a badass. It makes you super heavy dude like Dirty Harry. Nothing phases you. And in the movie Papillon, they say to Steve McQueen, I forget the exact verbiage, but don't do that. It drains your manliness. They should have said chi, but they didn't. And we've all seen the episode of Seinfeld where he's amazing during that time. So it's better for them, but I have to admit, I never thought of the rape thing, but if you're looking at porn all the time, yes, it may quell the need, just like if you don't want birds to go to your garden, you have the sunflower seeds out here, but it may be training them. It may be training them to, like, their horny muscle might be getting bigger. So then they're looking at porn all day, and they've been performing, they've been making love out of nothing at all to themselves, and then they're walking through the cafeteria, and they're thinking of what they saw this morning, and they're thinking he would be perfect in just like little socks.
Coming up on Greta.
Really getting in the mind of the prisoner, right?
Your point argues that.
No, but there is a debate about that, whether it accentuates it or whether it lowers it.
But let's go back to Gavin's point about a prison full of Steve McQueens. I don't think the guards want that. They want guys that are in a bunch of post-coital bliss just sitting there like that. They don't want guys jacked and walking around all tense.
Also, too, let's get back to something you said, too. You said all you did was kill a guy. Not everybody in prison killed a guy. So what are you going to do? Say this guy can have porn and this guy can't?
They do that.
I think they should all be punished.
Here come 100 more shankings for what you have and I don't.
Well, the guy who's in there for opening a community garden, he should be allowed porn. But the ones who committed crimes, especially felonies, should be denied some privileges.
All right. On that note, we're going to close things out with a post-game wrap-up from John DeVore. You know it's going to be great. And to see clips of recent shows, foxnews.com/redeye. Back to John DeVore for the post-game wrap-up.
I had a good time. I heard you got a private tour of the city of David in Jerusalem, Brooke.
I did. I had a wonderful tour. It was courtesy of the Ear David Foundation. I saw newly excavated sites. It was the most incredible thing. Cityofdavid.org.
Okay, thank you very much.
Joe,
you have a big performance coming up.
Yeah, it's this Thursday at 8 p.m. at the Frank Banco Ale House Cinemas in Bethlehem, PA at the Arts Center. Please come out.
Gavin, name of your book.
How to Piss in Public, and it's not really just memoirs. It's more like fun bar stories, and it's not gonna. Then I found out my dad was the wisest person in the world. It's none of that. It's just hair whitening story after story after story. All zingers.
I'm happy to have had a seizure for you, Greg.
Well done, John. Thanks for filling in, and we hope Andy Levy gets well.
I don't care.
You don't care?
No.
All right. Thanks, Brooke, Bill, Joe, Gavin. Great job. That does it for me. Bye.